Fitness Pro Mentor community. How are you doing today? Welcome to a live training. My name's Brandon, Fitness Pro Mentors, and I'm really excited. One of the reasons why I'm super passionate about this group is I love seeing trainers like you succeed. I struggled, like many of you, I think, maybe not all, where I was working hard as an exercise educator, professional. I had a lot of knowledge. I felt really good about my academic background, being able to help people. I just didn't have the business that I wanted. I wasn't getting the leads, and I wasn't able to take the leads and convert them to long-term sustainable relationships. There are a lot of things that I have learned and invested a lot of time privately into mentors and education to help me get beyond that so I can have the career that I want and I believe I deserve. And in case you're not familiar, in my small town of Newmarket, Ontario, less than 100,000 people, 45 minutes north of Toronto, I have an incredible facility, 4,000 square feet, jam-packed with all the equipment I could ever possibly dream of, an amazing team, and I'm today literally figuring out how do we expand from here because we are getting too full inside of our walls. It's an incredible problem to have. What I want to do today is I want to do Marketing 101. I want to try and share some tips and secrets to help you scale up your business right now with some principles, some framing, and then talk about some practical, actionable things you can do right away. First and foremost, if you're tuning in live, please say hello below and then leave a question if you have any questions at all around anything marketing or business centric. Spencer had a great question, and I'm really going to do everything I can to make sure at the end of today we button that up, asking about what types of content you should produce and create to help get the leads that you want. And honestly, today is all around that. So please enjoy the ride. And I got a second camera set up over here where hopefully I can sit and relax a little bit more, but right now I'm feeling like I should be on the edge of my seat to get this thing started. So, number one, it's an extremely simple one, but I can't express how important this is, and it goes a little bit before marketing and also after marketing. You need to, if you want to have your marketing in your business be as sharp as you possibly can, you need to be a professional. We had Brad Dieter on last week, who is the founder, one of the co-founders of Macros Inc., and many trainers like Michelle Amore, incredible people we've interviewed, have talked about being a professional. If you're going to have your marketing, sales, and business infrastructure be incredible, you can learn all these incredible skills, but you have to make sure that you're representing yourself adequately to the people in front of you. What does being a professional mean? We have this thing in our mentorship, and we call it our CEO avatar, and I can't express how important I think it is. If you were the CEO of a major billion-dollar company tomorrow, what kind of things would you change? How would you act? How would you present yourself? How would you manage time? How would you communicate? How would you dress? All of those extremely small but simple things carry into today. If you think about personal trainers in general, and I said, hey, serious question, how do personal trainers dress? How do they walk? How do they act? Where do they go? You will think of a workout person wearing tight pants or a tank top that's probably muscular, likes to look at themselves in the mirror, has a lot of selfies, has Instagram taking pictures of themselves, calls himself personal trainer, probably has a water jug that's 1.5 liters that's huge, that says super jug or something like that on it, and honestly fulfills all of the current workout personal training stereotypes. And that's fine. But how many of those people are making $100,000 a year as a personal trainer? How many of those people are charging more than $100 an hour? And I would say probably not that many. So how many of you wear a clean black shirt and have shorts that actually match? Are you wearing clean black shoes that looks like your actual t-shirt that you're wearing? Just a t-shirt is actually a uniform. Do you wear a polo? If you thought about wearing a suit shirt, depending if you have a more clinical style setting, how do you dress for your gig? How do you dress adequately for what you're doing? And the truth is, why this is so important and why I would call this a Marketing 101 tip is that professionalism and how you carry yourself and how you communicate, the jokes you tell, whether you're wearing tank tops or whistles or crazy gaudy jewelry in front of clients and walking around the gym floor, that's called passive marketing. People are always watching. They hear the conversations you're having from a distance. If you're talking about your favorite Avengers movie and you're swearing all sorts, people from across the gym floor that are potential clients are going to see that. And we have to get past that. We can't have those small things get in the way. And number one, be a professional. Two, this is actually the most important one, getting into marketing. You have to speak to someone, not to everyone. Now, without that sounding like a sound bite, because you've probably heard sound bites like that before. And when you consider sales copy, there's a lot of different and really incredible book resources out there on sales copy and speaking to somebody. I made an enormous mistake in my marketing journey. When I was like, I can work with anybody, how do I advertise that? How do I show everyone that I can work with everyone? But the truth is, when you showcase working with everyone, you speak to no one. And that's such an important thing. If we think about a 15-year-old female versus a 30-year-old female versus a 65-year-old female, or male, or they, just think about the age categories: 15, 30, 65. The 15-year-old might have pains and problems that you can actually solve. But truth is, if we think about that, is that business scalable? Are those 15-year-olds going to be a great source of recurring revenue? Or are they about to go off to university and college? 30-year-olds, maybe a little bit more available to spend on you, maybe potential of recurring revenue. But truth is, 30-year-olds are having kids, figuring out where they're ending up, and they're on their way to middle age category. 65-year-olds are retired, probably don't have kids in the house, and probably have more expendable income than they did when they were parents, and are probably traveling socially, but not doing a ton. So first and foremost, we need to figure out who we're going to speak to. But if we think about the 65-year-old, if we think about three broad markets, if we think about, you have the money-making business advertising, you have the health business advertising, and you have relationships, what these people are coming here for is they're going to be coming for health-related products. Well, when I ever think to a 65-year-old and you think about what health things are a 65-year-old concerned with? What are their biggest fears? Why might they consider exercising? Well, weight loss might be a big one. And it might not necessarily because they want to cosmetically look better, but they might be interested in losing weight because they're afraid of having diabetes. And their doctor said, if you don't take care of this weight and you start eating healthier, you're going to gain a little bit more weight. We're going to have to put you on the insulin, give you the shot. And then once you're on the insulin, we're going to have to start checking you for macular degeneration, making sure your feet are good, and there's no peripheral neuropathy. And all of a sudden, someone coming in saying, I want to lose a little bit of weight, it's a very, very different conversation. And understanding that this person might be coming in for the fear of a potentially much larger health problem is so much bigger than promoting exercise. So when I speak to that person, why that's so important, and this leads into point number 3, messaging, the wording that you use has to be clearly geared towards that person with diabetes who's afraid of their quality of health diminishing from that diabetes and gaining weight. And so why that's super significant is that in your marketing and advertising, and here's another big mistake that I made. I talked about the gym we have. And like many of you, I am an exercise equipment aficionado, self-proclaimed. Is that hubris? Maybe. I love it. I love exercise machines. I would have way more machines and a much bigger gym if it was a rational thing to do. There are machines right now for sale in Chicago that I want to buy, and I have no space to put them, and it doesn't make any sense. Why is that important? Well, how many of you showcase your incredible equipment? You're like, look at my MedX machine. Look at our Pure Torque rotary torso device. Look at our new Sornex squat rack. Look at our gym. Look at our space. How many of you show pictures of you? Look, I'm muscular, I'm fit, I'm in shape, I'm professional looking, like a real estate shot, right? How many of you take pictures of those two things? Well, if we think about the picture of the exercise equipment, that exercise equipment, who does it speak to? What does that image say? It does show some beautiful equipment. It does say some interesting stuff, but it doesn't speak to anybody unless they're looking for that particular exercise machine experience. When they see pictures of you, professional and in shape, unless you are selling an in-shape physique-based product, which some of you may be, but speaking to that 65-year-old diabetic woman, me being muscular and strong doesn't mean anything to her. Me being able to pick up 400 pounds doesn't mean anything to her. In fact, what she wants to see is that other people like her have had results with people like you. She wants to hear another 65-year-old say, I was struggling with diabetes. I exercised everywhere. I tried circuit training, I tried the home workouts, tried the Pelotons, and they were fun and worked for a little bit, but all of which led me to being sore, aching, not liking how my body's feeling, and ultimately struggling with what I'm going to do next. I was afraid of exercising because everything I tried hurt until I came to Strata and I met Taylor. And after working with Taylor, I've never felt better. My muscles improve. My strength is up. My insulin is better. And I am less afraid of going to the diabetic road and not having to worry about what's going to happen to my body, even if I do. I'm so grateful for everything that's happened with me being here at Strata. I feel stronger. That messaging is huge. Thinking about your website, you think about those first lines. We want to say state-of-the-art machines, revolutionary personal training. That's all great. It doesn't say anything, right? If you go down the street and you see someone put up a sign that says revolutionary mechanic, it's like, that's kind of a cool name, but it doesn't really say anything. But if you see the person who says state-of-the-art mechanics who will fix your engine in 20 minutes, guaranteed money back. Well, that sounds a little bit more compelling. That messaging is extremely specific. They're going to do something within a period of time, and then they're going to give something back to me if I don't. So we need to think about the messaging that we are using. And this is where we say exercise pain-free all the time. Because even as a silly little soundbite, people get it. People see it, and it's like, oh, I want to exercise and be pain-free. It's almost a juxtaposition because so many people exercise and don't do it pain-free. So, quickly in review, you have to be a professional. You have to be the professional that the person you are trying to target and market to wants. 3, we need to make sure that you're speaking to somebody. You have a client avatar clearly defined in your head. You know their fears. You know their worries. You know they've tried things to solve the problem that didn't work, and that's why they're calling you. And that leads to point number 3, messaging, making sure you are using wording that they will hear. And that's the most important thing, is that when you type something, you put something on your website, you say something with your mouth, what are you going to hear? I am telling you, if you do these 3 things, you will make more money, help more people, and have a business, and you have to work less hard to it. You will grow your business faster, you'll have higher quality clients, and you will have to worry less about when more clients will come because your retention will be increased because you were clear with your messaging as to what you do. I guarantee it. So how can we change your messaging right away? Well, let's talk about some actual particular pieces of content in a second here. Number 4, I want all of you to get away from boasting and telling everyone how great you are and give away value. The social media landscape, especially if that's your primary medium for marketing, and let's not even do that. Let's not talk about social media. In-person marketing. You're getting into a place where you're starting to go and talk to people that you don't know to scale your business. You're doing outbound marketing, and you're a good communicator, and that's great. If you walk into a chiropractic clinic and you say something like, hey, my name's Brandon, I have a personal training studio up the street, and I'm interested in making partners in town, and I'm looking to collaborate and see how this is mutually beneficial. Would you be interested in doing something? As much as I articulated that smoothly, people are wise. Chiropractors, physios, massage, everybody knows other people want stuff they got, especially if they're a successful chiropractor with a decade or more of experience. Like, people want my referrals. Okay. So how can you get around that? Hey, Dr. Warner, it's a pleasure meeting you. Honestly, I have a few clients that come here, and I heard you are absolutely one of the best in town. I actually wanted to come here and just meet you, shake your hand, and just say thank you so much for working with some of my clients. Honestly, this is super random, but one of the things I've been doing with Diane and Heather is we've been using this new process to improve skeletal muscle function through just exercise, but in a way that they don't get hurt, and it really supports their unique sensitivities, as you know. I've created this educational presentation, this event, and I don't know if you'd be remotely interested in it, but I'm just on a mission. I'm on a mission to help Newmarket move pain-free. And I would love to share that information with some of the people that come here. How would be the best way for me to set up an educational event for you, maybe your staff, and maybe some of your members if you think that'd be beneficial? Give back, give value. Now, on that value note, to Spencer Gallo's question that I'm going to answer in a second here, what kind of content do we create? Well, we need to give value that's going to matter to the individual and their needs. So if we stack this before we get to the next part here, which is actually, like, you'll see it's going to be pretty relevant. I'm actually kind of excited about it. If we get to the next part here, what I want to make sure is that every piece that we're giving is customized to the individual and their messaging. So if we know that we have a 65-year-old who's got diabetes and they're afraid of peripheral neuropathy, they're afraid of increased insulin, and they're going to have to go on. They're going to have decreased insulin sensitivity. They're going to have to actually go on to diabetes. Go on artificial insulin. They don't want to do that stuff. They don't want to change anything. So what if we created a presentation on 3 ways exercise can help to manage insulin better? 3 ways that exercise can help people with diabetes live longer. All of these are kind of dream outcomes, but very, very simple. And so now if we're giving away value, it becomes very easy to create a presentation geared completely towards the 3 things that help a diabetic person have stronger feet and better balance. The 3 things that help someone with diabetes not succumb to their diabetes, right? There's a lot of different ways you could go about doing this. And in the exercise vein, there are tons of pieces of advice you could give. If you approach creating lead magnets, presentations, events, social media from I want people to do better and here's some information to help them do better, people will see it. They will smell it. They will hear it. They will taste it because it will be palpable. Give value. Number 5. This is a very important one for me. And then we're going to reverse engineer some content creating ideas to try and help you out. Study for the gig. What season are you in? If you are in this position where you're trying to grow your business and you now know from today's conversation or working with our mentorship team that you have a client avatar that is a 45-year-old male who has some expendable income, but they're struggling with back pain, right? Back pain, middle-aged male. You know that. What do you need to study to become the expert on back pain with exercise? Well, first and foremost, when clients come into your world and they've got spondylolisthesis, maybe they've got a herniated disc, maybe they have stenosis on the lateral foramen, do you know what all those things are? Do you know the implications of those things if they continue to progress? Do you understand potentially how certain exercise solutions could be incredible to help those things and other ones could be truly detrimental? And if you do know those things, then you can study them more and become better at communicating it and doing events like I am where you're practicing communicating and conveying ideas around these ideas. So when you talk to someone who has diabetes, a torn rotator cuff muscle, you have read, studied, and communicated so much of it that it becomes autonomous to explain how your process can help them. And you can very convincingly, with full conviction, talk about the long-term plan. Study for the gig. Do you need to learn how to develop the skills to create social media content or create a compelling testimonial video? What do you need to practice today? It's very simple because if I said, hey, I want you to create a lead magnet, and you're like, oh, okay, great. What kind? Well, I want you to create an ebook. Well, what skills do you need to know how to create an ebook? Well, you need probably photography skills, take some compelling videos, or photos rather. You're going to need some video editing and photo editing skills to put it into a platform. And you're going to need some platform skills, so it might be actually Canva. And if you can, how can you get at photography? How can you create cool looking stuff using the rule of thirds? How do you put it all into a Canva document and then repurpose it as a PDF? Those skills will take time for you to figure out. But once you do it once, you can do it twice, 3 times, 4 times. And then those skills will transfer hey, I can actually make a poster from this. I can actually create an entire course for this Fitness Pro Mentors course on post-activation potentiation. And all those skills transfer. So how do we take all of these ideas to create compelling content for a marketing plan? Well, first and foremost, you need to know who you're speaking to. You need to be professional, as organized as you can, and we need to know you have clear messaging for the person. So let's take that demographic of a 45-year-old male with back pain. Or 45-year-old males, stereotypically, what do they like to do? Well, they're active probably. They probably like golfing. They probably like a sport. We're Canada. We like to play hockey. Maybe it's volleyball. Who knows? But let's pick golf. They're a 45-year-old person. They're making some okay money. They got kids who are middle-aged, and they want to keep golfing with their friends. They're so busy with their kids that golfing is one of the few things they can actually do and enjoy themselves. But that back pain stops them from playing golf. And they wonder, am I getting too old for golf? Is this just the normal time for me? I'm just getting older and I'm going to have to stop. And if we know that they are fearful that they're going to have to stop because of the pain in their back, now we've got something. 3 ways to bulletproof your back. 3 ways to improve golf performance with core exercises. 3 ways to have back pain never stop you from golfing. All of these become lead magnets, website content, social media content, incredible testimonial videos. It just depends on your medium. We have previously talked about in another masterclass, a step-by-step marketing plan using lead magnets. So one thing you can do, and this is one thing I do quite often, is I will create a lead magnet for a bunch of clients. So if I know that I am going to speak in front of a yoga class, and there are a bunch of women who are between ages of 35 and 50, and they are concerned with back issues and finding a level of exercise that doesn't hurt them but helps them to feel good for a long period of time so they can keep doing yoga, I will create a lead magnet of 3 ways to do yoga forever with scientific exercises. And then create some tips to actually help them continue to do what they love to do. But be careful. With this content, you can have fun. These live videos, I get to have a bit of fun because this is my platform and I'm really excited to share everything I've gotten with you. But when you're doing this with clients and when you're speaking one-on-one, don't be hubris. Make sure you're being professional and present and following everything and speak to them. Don't shovel any ideas down their throat that they're not ready to hear. But listen, if you've heard this today and you found this even a little bit exciting, please let me know below what was helpful from today. I love doing these things and I want to help you grow your incredible business. If you are listening to this live, we are in Strata Internal Performances, my gym's 7th year of being in the same brick and mortar location with an incredible team. And I'm very excited. And next month, our podcast, we are doing Opening a Gym series month, where I'm going to talk to a bunch of different people who've opened gyms, all different levels, very excited, and talk to them about their process, how they decide to open a gym, how they open the gym, the biggest hurdles, what's changed since they've opened the gym, and would they recommend you, yes or no, open a gym. Everyone, this is Brandon from Fitness Pro Mentors. I want you all having the career that you deserve. You all should be making 2 to 3x more money. And honestly, if you are not making $100,000 a year, send me a message because I would love to try and help you and teach you exactly what we're doing here and teaching you exactly what our team has done to do exactly that. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, and I'll see everybody soon.